Well, finally, Paul, I wanted to ask you about something in the book which I read about, which seemed almost a bit surreal. It's called remarketing. And if I understand it, it's about making people who visited your website still see your website on other websites. But how does it work in kind of layman's terms?
Yeah. Remarketing is a big game changer. And it starts in the pay-per-click system. So we talked about the paid adverts before.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very similar thing. You set up your paid adverts. And then people who've been on the website, when they leave that website, they go to other websites.
Mm-hmm.
Google remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
And it serves them up your advert.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be on websites like YouTube, some of these big credible websites,
mm-hmm.
and they're seeing your advert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously top of mind because they've just been on your website.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fantastic new sort of tool from Google.
It does. It seems quite surreal to me.
Mm.
So to get it right, they've been on the accountant's website. So they've typed into Google or whatever, or they've arrived themselves on their website. They've had a look around.
Yeah.
But then they've gone onto the other websites,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, YouTube or another website like that, and they're seeing your advert. So is it it's only them that sees the advert, or is it everybody sees the advert for a time period?
No,
How does it work?
Just them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's served up to them. Not to get too technical, basically when you visit a website, there's a small thing called a cookie
Mm-hmm.
put on your computer to remember that you've been on that website.
Mm-hmm.
And Google uses these
Mm-hmm.
to sort of, if that website has remarketing adverts,
Mm-hmm.
it'll remember that you've been on there and it'll show you the advert.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to show it to everybody, people who have
Mm-hmm.
never been on your website before.
So I've been onto the accountant's website. I've considered it, but for whatever reason, I've not done anything.
Yeah.
And then I'm on the other websites and I'm being marketed to. Now, I imagine that's particularly pertinent to accountants. That's why I wanted to ask you about it, because we know the buying cycle is quite long for... Appointing a new accountant might be a bit shorter, but it's still
Mm-hmm.
a considered purchase. But I know for people changing accountants,
Yeah.
that's a long considered process. And sometimes they might do it this year or next year. So they may have read your website and looked into it, but they're considering it. And if they were to see your adverts, what effect would that have on them? And what would you put in those adverts? How can you capitalise on that opportunity?
Yeah, again, it's a bit like the credibility side of things. So they've come on there, they're considering, like you say, moving accountants, for example. They've read through your content, but it's not something they're going to do instantly. So they thought it was interesting, but they've left. And then they see your advert, inviting them back, offering them something like one of these guides that you've written, something like that, which they missed when they were on the website. Just sort of tempting them back in, and it just keeps in touch with them. That's what it's doing essentially. It's just letting them know that you're there again.
So you can keep talking to them if you will.
Pretty much once they've left, yeah.
Yeah, because somebody once told me you only have 7 seconds on a website.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why you're saying it's a game changer, isn't it? This
That's
is
right.
completely the opposite of that.
That's right, yeah. I mean, on average, you get 5 to 7 seconds to attract someone's attention with your design, if you like. So they'll jump on your website, they'll make a decision of whether they're going to stay on there and actually read your content within 5 to 7 seconds. That's why the design is so important. But now you've got this extra little thing, is once they've even gone and they've left your website, you can still be in front of them.
And I imagine if you're in front of them on something like YouTube, they might have a perception that you're perhaps bigger than you actually are.
You are, yeah, without
definitely.
doubt. Yeah, I mean, again, that's adding credibility. Some of these sites are very large that they're going to see you on, and large organisations who've got remarketing adverts positioned in their site.
It sounds very good. It also sounds quite expensive because it seems great technology. How much would it cost for somebody to do that?
Well, it works in the pay-per-click system, so it's very, very similar, and you pay it every time it's clicked on. So obviously you've got a second opportunity to get in touch with them. It's definitely worthwhile considering. It's definitely a worthwhile purchase.
So you'd only really pay if they come back to your website.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably the opposite of expensive.
Yeah, without a
definitely.
doubt. Yeah, I mean and you'll find that remarketing adverts are going to get a higher click-through rate anyway because they've already shown interest. So you know, if they are then tempted back again and they do actually click it, there's a much higher chance of conversion on your website.
It's sort of second bite at the cherry, really, isn't it? That's why I was so interested in it.
Yeah.
How long would you do it for? Because I know the decision to change accountants can be a long decision. So how long would you do it for? Is it just a week or a year, or What is there a recommended time period for when you'd be showing your advert? Just once, or how would you do it?
Yeah, I mean, not specifically. Again, it changes industry by industry, budget and things like that. I'm going to determine a little bit about that.
Mm.
Obviously, you don't want to be doing it for too long. And people do change, clear their cookies on their website, which would stop the advert showing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I would always say that people should be doing it for about a week after on this sort of thing. County practices, or for a week after they've come to your website. Get them back.
Mm. And they might see that advert several times, so almost every day.
Yeah.
When they're looking at other
That's
websites.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Thank you, Paul. You've talked in these interviews and in your book about so many different systems for marketing for accountants, sort of hundreds of different ideas.
Yeah.
It almost seems quite a lot to kind of take in. So you talk in the final chapter about the book, about a system that people can use for accountancy marketing system.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me a bit about that and how it kind of all pulls all of this together?
Yeah. I mean, the website. Obviously, the whole point of the book is to show people how to do it, how they can get more from their clients, how they can get more from the internet. But obviously, accountants are very, very busy people.
Mm-hmm.
They charge per hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it's their time is money,
Mm-hmm.
literally. So what this does is just focus on the best practices for them. Getting the website that works
Mm-hmm.
is one of the key ones. How to be found online.
Mm-hmm.
Mastering the social media
Mm-hmm.
in order to publish information, and then mixing in your online and offline.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would never recommend pushing everything to online.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you always need to have that touch. Certain people prefer offline as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you've still got that in there as well. And basically, there's more information on the link on this page.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Paul.